story, what goes on, what these perks are playing.
Dane's starting to record.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight we have Blayid versus Heitakki, the Terran player, Bronze Terran player, Heitakki, the Protoss player. Myself, Dogland, will be casting along with...
Silencer, hello everyone, welcome back.
Welcome, Silencer. So on the top right hand corner, the gold player, it is Heitakki, the Protoss.
And in the bottom left, as the pink Terran, we have Blayid.
So, Silencer, who's going to win this game? Just give it to me straight.
Protoss.
You think so?
Always Protoss, Dogland.
So the previous games that these guys played against each other, I believe they've shared their successes. I believe Blayid has won one or two games, but Heitakki's also got one or two cheeky games in there. So it's going to be a good roundup here, because you're not certain who's going to take it.
Oh, that's what we're hoping for, is a good series. Let's see, we have a starting opening from Blayid, from the Brax into the refinery, and from Heitakki we have the simulator into a pylon, to a second pylon.
Oof, that is... he's forgetting about his gateway? What is happening here? It must be the nerves. Yeah, I mean, still no gateway. Blayid just needs to send a Reaper or a Marine, and he'll get a couple of cheeky kills there off the SCVs.
Absolutely, and the supply we see at the moment from Blayid, we're definitely going to have a first build Reaper, as we see Gateway and the Forge being built by the Protoss player.
Certainly. So standard usual build from the Protoss player.
Little bit delayed.
Definitely delayed.
As he's queued up five probes.
Interesting, Blayid has decided to make Marines and rather go and scout with the SCV. I'm glad he's scouting. Or is that going to be some proxy? A bit late for a proxy.
Unlikely a proxy, as we see Blayid dropping a factory in his main with the second refinery finally being built.
Ah, yes, well spotted. And the orbital command going down. Blayid forgetting about the SCV. He goes up the ramp to scout. Let's see his vision.
Ooh, 3 photons going down around the mineral line.
He's wondering.
First one
where
as he gets a nice
the infrastructure. He sees the forge, he sees the gateway, he loses the SCV to the cannon. Puts down a second expansion. So far, pretty standard from both players.
See a starport coming out for Blayid.
Heitakki likes to play this very defensive play with the cannons in the mineral line. Soma puts 3 of them down and 1 on the ramp with upgrades, shield upgrades.
Second assimilator being fixed. As we see the command center getting halfway towards completed, would be a fantastic time for Heitakki to expand.
Absolutely. But as we know, Heitakki, he likes to expand late game.
Second gateway queued up.
Still no upgrades from Blayid. 1 barracks. Puts down a second. He's got no engineering bay, no tech lab. As of yet.
Goes for the barrack supply per wall. Protect his natural. I get the feeling we're in for a bit of a long game.
Let's have a look at the APM. Pretty heavy on the Blayid side. Heitakki definitely has the more slower strategic APM. Although APM's not everything. Let's have a look at the army supply. Blayid definitely got the slightly stronger army supply here.
Shield upgrade completing now for Heitakki, as he's queued up the melee upgrade as well as the armor upgrade.
And although Blayid's
Really
put
hoping.
down 2 bases, I mean, his worker supply is only 28 units, 28 SCVs. Not that far behind Heitakki, so far strong build from Heitakki, yeah, but he needs to start expanding.
We see a Hellion being produced for Blayid, hoping to see a bit of play come out of that Hellion.
He loads this Medivac with the SCV. Does he plan on repairing that Hellion, or was that just a misclick? Most likely a misclick.
We see Blayid foreshadowing a little bit as he starts to increase the TPM around his natural.
Research complete. Mineral field depleted.
So Blayid
What is
goes
he
in
going
for the
to?
attack. Does he know about these 2 photon cannons? He does see them.
Complete.
Brings an SCV into the challenge.
Splits his army. Not a good idea because he will just lose them. He needs to load up the Medivac. He only managed to load up the 1 Marine. He had the potential there to do a lot of damage, but
Uses the aggro SCV.
meanwhile the Reaper Hellion coming up the ramp, but will get shut down from those cannons. He sees those that Hellion just got taken out. He pulls back his Marines.
You see things currently heading up to the 6.5 minute mark, being quite even between these two, both in terms of supply. But apart from that, not much in army value, not much of a discrepancy in army value or APM for that matter.
He forgets about the upgrades at Engineering Bay. He has no turrets for any vision or any anti-air. And once again, Heitakki not scouting. He has no idea what Blayid's doing here, which is very risky. Heitakki putting down a second forge. He wants to go aggressive with his upgrades. I like it.
Blayid seems to be rallying a bunch of Hellions, Medivac and some Marines again. I'm going to be seeing another drop.
Yeah, I don't think I quite like the Hellion build at this point in game, especially considering he just saw Zealots and Stalkers. I don't think that's a great matchup.
Absolutely not.
He
They will be the frontline slaughter.
Exactly, he needs to be making some Marauders and Medivacs. He does put down a second Engineering Bay, but forgets about the upgrade. He has 1 Medivac to heal just a couple of Marines.
Heitakki's in a bit of trouble as he has 18 units on a 10 supply Nexus.
Yes, he absolutely
Really needs to expand.
Absolutely. Stolen the words out of my mouth there. And Blayid pops out some more Medivacs. He goes in for the kill. I like this aggression. It's finally some more action. But he doesn't know about this army. I mean, would he have made this army composition had he known?
And looking up the upgrades completed for the Protoss player on the high ground, trying to push up, that is going to be an absolute nightmare for Blayid.
Blayid's worker supply is almost double that of Heitakki. His army supply is just pretty much neck and neck, but it's not only about the size of the army but the composition of the army. And I'm afraid that army from Heitakki looks rather deadly. But if Blayid can macro them with his Medivacs, he should be good to go.
Oh, we see the second expansion finally coming down for Heitakki at the 9 minute mark. Absolutely excellent. However, we see the approach coming in. Could the timing of this expansion be any worse?
I think so, Silencer. Will he cancel this expansion or will he lose?
He will not.
Loses the 400 minerals.
I don't think either of these players just realize how impactful that play was, losing that expansion for Heitakki, although he has a massive advantage in the upgrades. we see a fight break out between the two teams. We see...
And finally he
Oh.
scans, he stims away from the army. I believe he stims again, which is probably not a good idea. I mean, he should have done something better with that.
Excellent focus fire coming out of those stalkers for Heitakki, focusing down those medivacs
Exactly.
as he pursues these marines.
I mean, without those medivacs, these marines are useless. And I mean, running away with the marines like that, letting the stalkers just pick them off one by one, it's a complete...
Baiting into tanks though.
Oh, beautiful.
Baiting into another army.
Beautiful. I like the tanks here by Blayid. I also like this, what was this, potential wall-off over here?
Heitakki's spider sense starts tingling and he backs out. Still not going for the second expand though. Really going to start costing him greatly in supply.
Absolutely. I mean, he needs to put that down while he still has the minerals.
Blayid with a casual 4,300 minerals lying idly around. Do we see a fusion core coming out for this player?
It doesn't look that way, and only 2 barracks. I mean, we saw this with the previous player Shredder, not making enough production facilities. These players need to pump out production. They shouldn't be sitting with so many minerals.
Heitakki getting to a point now of almost complete saturation of his minerals. He needs to be careful. If he finishes his minerals and continues to produce, he will get to a point where he cannot produce another Nexus.
Exactly. He needs to go... Oh, as we say that, I see a probe going down there, and he places the Nexus. Thank goodness.
Second shield upgrade for the TOS player finishing at some point there. Making that quite a formidable amount of stalkers, although not being many. Still quite scary for the Terran army to deal with.
Third base going down for Blayid. I'm not quite sure I like the placement of that army. I mean, there is what I like about this map, Silencer, you can just place just a unit on the center tower just to give you vision of this area while you can secure this ramp with your army. But that's not what Blayid has decided to do over here.
Interesting play for Blayid going out on the double expansion at the same time. Going to give him a massive economy lead in the next couple minutes, as we see only now the second Nexus finishing up for the Protoss player.
Cheeky 4th base here from Blayid. He's feeling confident. I believe he should be building an army rather than expanding on bases upon bases.
Absolutely. Economy not really being the issue he's facing at the moment, rather an issue of army supply. We start to see Thors being manufactured. Brilliant. Thors being an excellent counter to the stalkers that we see Heitakki constantly building.
Yes, and I'm glad that he's putting down some more factories to pump out these said Thors. He seems to be just sitting around with this army. Both players need to engage. They're just sitting with the army back at home, not doing anything, just concentrating on economy.
Fourth base finishes up for Blayid as the TPM once more skyrockets. Oh, we see a bit of action from Blayid as he rallies his army,
Excellent.
looking to move out.
Excellent to see. He forgets the 2 siege tanks back at base. He splits the army. That's very interesting. Except for the one little tank there. What was that split for? Heitakki now feeling the brunt of his economy.
Absolutely, as he struggles to make up for what he doesn't have. He is literally half behind in army supply. Absolutely disastrous for Heitakki as he finishes up his minerals in his main base.
I like the approach Blayid is taking up here. going up the backside here, seeing if there's any expansions coming around here, because the obvious route was in through the middle. Blayid just walling himself in all over the place. Not sure how effective this wall would be if the units can just run around through here into the middle line.
We see a large production intake of Blayid on his factories, producing 4 Thors on one factory while he has 2 idle.
Blayid throwing scans all over the place, sussing out his next move. He sees that Heitaki's army is thinly spread out all over. He inches forward, but doesn't commit.
Heitakki bringing in more Stalkers. He did at some point complete the blink upgrade. Let's see how I can use that to defend this attack. Looking quite disastrous for Heitakki at this moment in time.
Yeah, I'm not
very,
feeling...
very far behind in army.
Absolutely, I'm not feeling confident here, Silencer. Double, almost triple army supply here.
Blayid's posturing for an attack. Nothing yet seen from Heitakki. Heitakki has no vision. Heitakki sees a Hellion. Does he respond? Auto attack from the Stalkers.
And he will lose those auto attack Stalkers. I like those Stalkers from the high ground, but he instead pulls them all down. And Blayid over stimming here. All those Marines are seriously hurt.
Doesn't seem to matter much, as that army completely obliterates any hopes Heitakki had of taking this game.
And I believe that will be a GG, ladies and gentlemen.
Expansion taken out all the probes.
Meantime, Blayid pulling in the rest of his army.
Realizing that he has the upper hand. Posturing the rest of his Thors. Trickling in one by one.
I like the placement of the Vikings. Gives Blayid the vision. Sees what's up there. He knows he can engage. Goes in for the kill.
Great show of power from Blayid. Great game one.
GG.